before I have users adding documents to this library, I'd like to provide the customization that I want to create to capture the metadata that I need for training documents. In order to do this, then, I always have two tabs up here at the top. This says Library Tools. If we were in a custom list, it would say List Tools up here on the ribbon. If we were in the calendar, it would say Calendar Tools. These are our Tools tabs on the ribbon. Browse just lets us look. Documents will let us do something specific to a document. You'll notice that almost all of these controls are not enabled right now. It's because we don't have a document in here. We would choose a document first, then view its properties, for example. Choose a document and then email someone a link to it. The Library tab, all of these controls are turned on because this allows us to actually work with the library as a whole. So much of the time when you click the Library tab, the very next thing you'll do is you'll go across to Library Settings. These are the settings for the library as a whole. And we're going to just spend a moment there so that you can see what this looks like. At the top, what we have is the name and the web address. Notice there's no %20 here because we didn't include a space. And the description that we entered when we created this library just a minute ago. Then we have all of the general settings for the library, all of the permissions and management settings, and the communication settings for the library in 3 columns here. Below that, we have a list of the columns that were created when the library was created. These are the default columns for libraries in SharePoint. There are 4 of them. The first is a title. So this would be the title of a document. If there's no title specified, the file name is used as the title, but they are different actually. Who created the document, who modified the document, and who the document is currently checked out to. Because in SharePoint, one of the settings, and again, this is in a later course, but one of the settings is we can have documents checked out to people. They reserve it to do something specific with it in terms of editing. In addition to these 4 columns we see, there are some other columns of data that SharePoint is automatically creating for us. And the documents are being not only tracked in terms of who created them and who modified them, but when they did that. But we don't have the ability to remove those columns. They're really sort of security columns. So they don't show here because we can't remove them, but we have access to them. This is where we would also go in and create new columns for this library. And below that, we have information about the library view. When a library is created, there is a view created automatically. We don't have to specify anything more about it. And it lets us see basic information, those columns that you see above here. Title, created by, modified by, checked out to. We can create new views here. We can add new custom columns here. And we can change general settings, permission settings, and communication settings across the rest of the top of this library. So this is, from a site owner's point of view, this is almost like a central console for this new library that we've created. And you will come here frequently. Almost all of the commands that you see here you can also get to from the ribbon, but it's really easy just to jump in here because this is where we modify our libraries.